Hey everyone, we are here for our weekly Brickworld live stream, planning for Brickworld. This is episode number 2. You can see our previous episodes on our YouTube channel. We have episode 1 and 1.5 about planning for Brickworld and how to set up your MyPage account once you register for the show. This week we're going to focus on live Q&A because we did not have time to get to it last week. In the meantime, while we're waiting for questions to come up, we will just talk about the basics of what Brickworld actually is. Also, hello. I happen to be Mark Larson, and I bark while I talk. That's just what happens. I sound a lot like a little 11-month-old whining puppy hound, but it's just something that's odd about my heritage. Just the way I talk. Sounds like a dog. It's just me. Again, my name is, I don't know my name. Where is it? My name is Mark Larson, and I am the Chief Brick Officer of Brickworld. You can follow us for more information about the show on any social media network with @brickworld.com. Welcome, of course, as I said, to Planning for Brickworld. Glad you could be here. Tonight we're talking about what is Brickworld. What is it? What are we talking about when we talk about Brickworld? So Brickworld is a recognized by the Lego Group as an AFOL networking event. What does that mean when I say AFOL? Woof! AFOL is an acronym that stands for Adult Fan of Lego. So if you've never heard that term before, welcome to it. Are you an AFOL? Only you can tell us. So Lego is a AFOL networking event, and that's a pretty basic definition of it, but what we like to think of it as is a Lego fan convention. And the most, I would say the biggest draw for it, especially for AFOLs, is looking at and sharing displays and creations. We refer to it in the community as a MOC, which is an acronym that stands for My Own Creation. Showing off your MOCs, showing off your collections of MOCs known as displays, displaying with your groups, displaying with your friends, or just coming by yourself and meeting people to share resources with and join in as parts of other groups. And that's the biggest part of the event for us, outside of just seeing the amazing displays or displaying amazing displays, is sharing resources, meeting new people, and getting out in the Lego fan world and meeting people who are like-minded. So everybody who is walking into the show with a badge, you don't have to have a conversation with them, that awkward moment where you're like, well, what do you do for a living? I run a Lego fan event, that sort of thing. Or just explain to somebody your hobby, like you have a basement full of Lego creations and Lego storage and storage units and XYZ. Everybody there is cut from the same cloth, and you can just be there and be yourself at your Lego nerd best and be among like-minded people. That's the best feeling for me about the show, and I've referred to it since my first Brickworld in 2007 as my new Christmas. And I'll get to it, but technically my first Brickworld was 2008, but that's because I didn't understand what the show was about or how it worked. But I'm here now to explain that to everyone in case you have the same misconceptions that I had. So let's just go over the basics of Brickworld. When I went in 2007, I paid for a full convention badge and goodie bag, and then went to the show for 2 hours because I live here in Chicago, and I was under the assumption that it was like the auto show or like Comic-Con, where you pay a high amount for an event that you would go to for just a couple hours. And so I paid for the full badge and didn't realize that that meant I could be there for 5 days and bring creations. But that is what you get with the full badge. You get to come to the show for all 5 days, private and public days. The first 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, are private days just for AFOLs. And then we have public hours on Saturday and Sunday, but then private events in the evening on Saturday and Sunday. We have a closing ceremonies and our award ceremony. And there's lots of stuff going on in those. I'll just go over some of the basics right now for you. Real quick, I just want to touch on when I say sharing resources and meeting other members of your community. A lot of lugs have started through the years. LUG, by the way, stands for Lego Users Group. Lego Users Group. I believe that is correct. I think that's this very It just sounds weird saying it out loud without saying lug, because Lego user, I don't think I would ever tell anybody, hey, I'm a Lego user. But there it is. That's the term that we use, Lego users group. That's what a lug is. And there are a lot of them that are recognized by the Lego group, and they get a certain amount of support to support their club. But there are a lot of lugs out there that are non-recognized, and there are quite a few at Brickworld that have met at the show that display together because they're people who are designed similarly, who get along socially. I'm part of one. It's called Eurobricks. We're from all over the world, and people do come from all over the world. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not just like they come from Canada. As a North American show, people come from as far as Australia, Japan, all over Europe, and really all over the world come to the show. And when you meet people, if they're not part of your local community, you still can form a lug and build with them as a Lego users group. You might not meet the requirements, or the official Lego requirements, to get the official Lego support from the Lego group, just because, in case you don't know, Lego does officially recognize many lugs, and there are certain requirements that you have to meet and stick to keep your recognized Lego users group status. It feels really weird not just using the acronym. But it doesn't stop you from calling yourself a lug if you want to create a group with other people. And you can meet lots of other people that you might be interested in creating displays with at Brickworld, or any Lego fan convention for that matter. So back to the basics of what you'll find at Brickworld in the private days and private hours on the weekend when we have the public hours. So one of the first things that people talk about when they experience Brickworld is the workshops. And what a workshop is, it's you sign up for it, and there is a new technique or some sort of demonstration that you participate in, and you build something. So it's not just a sort of lecture or presentation. It is an actual hands-on teaching a technique or a new skill. And some of them cost money because people source their own materials and they want you to be able to build something unique. Some of them are free. Some of them can cost money some of them can cost money. Some of them that do cost money have certain sets that are available on loan for the workshop only. You just have to return the pieces once you are done. A lot of the workshops, most of the workshops, try to let you create something that you can keep with you, so it's worth the price of admission, of signing up for the workshop. And the bill of materials is listed in the description, on the website, on the app, and in the program. If you're interested in signing up, so you see exactly what it is that you'll be getting before you sign up and agree to pay the price for the admission to the workshop. We also have a number of presentations. Presentations are just as they sound. Someone presenting on a topic about the Lego community. That is the most type of activity that is done outside of just the regular display hours, is people presenting about different techniques, different knowledge. For example, we have a woman who does the history of Modulex, which, if you're interested in Modulex, would be very interesting to you. Either way, even if you're not, I highly recommend attending it because it's fascinating to see a small subset of Lego that a lot of people don't know about, and that we have someone who has a prolific expertise about. And then there's people who do presentations. We run one ourselves for new attendees. We have a new attendee orientation presentation, and then we have all sorts of other presentations about like roof techniques, castle building. We have workshops again that cover certain topics as well, like flower building. The Great Ball Contraption always has a workshop every year. I'm gonna consult my notes here to see some of these other presentations that we do because my mind is drawing a blank. But just taking a look at a couple of them here, we had a guy do a presentation on how to build a Lego audio stereogram, which if you grew up in the 80s, it was those posters that you'd look at like this until you saw the 3D image in them. Introduction to mosaics, if you're interested in art. We had someone do a presentation on 3D printmaking. So that's just a small example of all the presentations that are run there. We also have social activities. Brickworld themselves runs a mixer on Wednesday night. If which you've been at the mixer before, you may have noticed as the show has grown, there's not a lot of mixing. It's more it's been more clickish in the last few years, and perhaps it doesn't feel like much of a mixer to you. We do have a new social coordinator this year that is going to work on the aspects of our initial mixer and adding more icebreaker social events so that people have more of an opportunity to meet new people and mix their groups together, their cliques, if you will. We also have games and competitions. So, for example, games, we have a game is something that doesn't necessarily have a prize. It's just something to get together and play with friends. Like we have somebody who runs something called Bricks Against Humanity, which if you are an adult and you've played the game Cards Against Humanity, it's very similar to that, except it's custom cards revolving around the Lego community. We have a number of brick-built tabletop games happening throughout the weekend. And then there's, of course, competitions that you can actually compete in for trophies to compete and win. Sorry, my mind went blank in the middle of a sentence. But we do have trophies for most of the competitions. One of our competitions is, I'm not sure if it's completely unique to Brickworld because it's been a while since I've been to another event. I've been a little busy running this one. But we do have the Lego boat race, which is always very exciting, in the hotel pool. We have robotics competitions. I think we're shifting a little bit of that this year. However, there's still going to be at least one. Goodness, going live can be rather intimidating sometimes if you don't have all your notes out in front of you. If you're an aspiring YouTuber like myself, because I'm sure this is definitely going to make me an influencer. Am I famous yet? Not the point of this, by the way. I'm totally joking, and this is for giving information to people coming to Brickworld. Set drafts. We'll get to that in a later live stream about what a set draft is, but if you already know what one is, there are plenty of set drafts going out throughout the weekend. Basically, if you don't know what a set draft is, it's a way to get a lot of pieces, specific pieces that you want from certain sets. So if you think of a set, like think of the last set you saw from the new Avatar line, focus on one set. A bunch of people bring it to the set draft and part it out by color and part. And then you go through one by one in a snake draft. If you've played fantasy football, you're basically drafting your team, but your team is made of Lego pieces from multiple copies of that specific set. I think that's very clear. If you have any questions, which I doubt you do because that was so clear, just let us know in the chat. You know, it's fun about going live as well is I have my live stream software up here and I lost the comment window. This is going real smooth, you guys. If you joined us last week, the live stream cut out 25 minutes into it. It was fun. It was a great time. I felt really calm. Some of the events that people like to go to year after year. One of the biggest ones that people appreciate at Brickworld Chicago is World of Lights. We turn off all the lights in the 100,000 square foot event hall, and all of the displays light up. It's a good social event. We turn the lights off for a couple hours, and there's usually some social activities during that time as well. This year we have some exciting news that we have a sponsor for World of Lights. So this year it will be World of Lights, brought to you by Bricker Builds. If you're not aware who Bricker Builds is, look them up on Instagram. It's an exciting little group of influencers and original set builders that third-party market, sell some pretty cool characters and are just a lot of fun. And they have agreed to sponsor the World of Lights event itself. And they will be running a social activity, get a little bit more. Their booth is right at the front of the hall. And so they're going to have some more light in their booth, run a social activity. Because if you're here by yourself for the first time, you may not want to go into a dark hall where people they're drinking. So that might not make you feel comfortable. So there'll be a safe haven at the front of the hall, brought to you by Bricker Builds. And everybody can have fun and feel comfortable and have a safe place to go. in case something happens that makes them feel uncomfortable. How's that? So we also have the garage sale. Now, people kind of lose their minds over the garage sale. We will have a live stream about this specific event at some point between now and the convention. Garage sale is basically we open up a ballroom. It won't be in the concession stand this year. We open up a ballroom, and you will get half a table if you want to sell stuff. But basically, it's people getting rid of parts that they want to get. It's like a fire sale. And I did this last year after we moved into this house. And if you look around me, I'm in my kitchen. And if you see this little square over here, it's a whiteboard blocking the puppy from getting into the basement because the basement is under construction because it flooded. And everything you see around me is usually in the basement. So I'm going to come back to the garage sale with a lot of stuff this year because I really had to purge a lot after having to remove everything from the basement. That's basically what it is. I've got pieces I need to get rid of. My husband sold it for me last year. I was not allowed to be there, so I just brought in boxes of stuff. And people kept saying, "Does Mark know this is in the box? Because these are really rare pieces." And he was like, "We're not going to ask him. Give me $1." You know. So that's the type of thing you might run into at the garage sale. Gonna have a few different parameters this year. Again, we'll get to that before the show. However, if you've never heard of it before, that's what a garage sale is. Next thing that we like to do at our show, one of the more popular activities is the charity fundraiser, where people bring in rare sets, sometimes very rare things. Last couple of years, we've had a guest from the Lego House bring the Lego House exclusives. Last couple of years that we've operated, so 2 out of the last 5 years, someone from the Lego House has come and brought the Lego House exclusives to the show to auction off, and that goes to our charity partners, which is Make-A-Wish Illinois and Larry's Children's Hospital here in Chicago. If you want to know anything about either one of those, you can check out the links on the website. And then, of course, we have our ceremonies, our opening ceremonies, our closing ceremonies, which is also our award ceremonies. We also have the awards themselves. Several different categories. They're listed on the website that are nominated and then voted for. Some are judged, but most of the creation categories for awards are voted on by the public. Not by the public, but by the by the badged attendees, the AFOLs, the fully registered attendees with badges. Again, maybe I'm running a little roughshod over this, but the fully registered attendees with badges. Public would be the people who come in during public hours on the weekend and just buy an expo ticket, mostly families who are there just for the public hours on Saturday and Sunday. They don't get to vote. Just the badged attendees who are there for all of the private events are the ones who are eligible to vote for that. In our ceremonies as well, our opening ceremonies, we have keynote speaker, and I'll be making an announcement about our keynote speaker soon, perhaps on a future live stream. We also have some crazy things being added here and there. Like you might go to an improv show, you might go to a concert, you might see some panel discussions with some community celebrities. Speaking of which, Brickworld Chicago this year is turning out to be, we'll see if it comes to fruition because it hasn't happened yet, but it looks like, according to the way that we're planning, that it's going to be the largest gathering of Lego Masters contestants to date at a Lego convention. So that's exciting, and we thank the Lego Masters contestants for their support and for wanting to gather at Brickworld Chicago, and really we thank everybody for their support, making the show what it is. The show is about AFOLs, and it's mostly run by AFOLs. All these presentations, workshops, social activities, games, competitions that I mentioned tonight can be done by anyone with a badge. So just to let you know what this is, what I'm referring to, you can, if you are registered for a badge, you can go to the Brickworld website. I'm just going to share my screen with y'all real quick. Yep. You go to the account tab, you go to my page, and here we are. I'm already there. And right here under my convention stuff, it says my leader roles. So you can go here and you could, if you're not leading anything, this is what this page will look like for you. Oh, it's not going there. Hold on. Let's try again. Oh. Okay, guys, sorry. Oh, here we go. How on earth did I do that? Okay, sorry. Good night, everybody. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. So here's the. Let's just go back here real quick. So you're at my page. Live streaming is hard. So it's as hard as businessing. Under my convention stuff down here, there's a button for my leader roles. So when you go to my leader roles, this table will be empty. It'll say no entries match your request. So just hit lead another activity, and then just you're gonna throw in Mark Larson. Whoops, doesn't matter. Co-leader name none. Title of activity: the history of Fabuland. That's going to be a presentation. But here are your options: workshop, presentation, roundtable, set draft, game, competition, other. Make up an activity for us. We will get you there for sure. We will make sure that this happens. And let's see, session length. Most presentations are 50 minutes. Set drafts can be 30 minutes. Some games can last 30 minutes. Workshops we hope will last at least an hour and 50 minutes. Some can be as long as this. If you have a special request, put it down here in the description of the activity. I will see it when we put the schedule together. I'm going to say I'm going to do this one once. By the way, when we do presentations, the reason we say 50 minutes is because we want the next person to have 10 minutes to get ready for theirs, and we do put them on the hour. And let's see. Do I need a projector and screen? I sure do. No, I've got my own computer, so I'm going to hit no. Do I need speakers for audio? Nope. Space needed. Conference room with chairs for an audience. My expected participation is at least 10,000 because everybody loves Fabuland. And hit next. Oh, what? 0 to 500. Well, I guess we'll have to have standing room only. Cost for participation is free. Additional information that shows on the website. This is where if you are giving a cost to something, you put the cost in here. You can say for a workshop, you might say it's going to be $35. You're going to explain to people on the website here what that $35 will be going to, and then here other information not shown on the website. Something like willing to do this more than once if needed, or any other note that you want us to know as we're putting the schedule together, something that the public will not see. And by public, I mean registered attendees with badges. And then hit submit. And then when you go back to my leader roles page, you will have this here that you could edit or delete at any time. Going back to my page. All right. So 23 minutes in. I think I got a lot of information in there. I apologize if I was rambling a bit, if I lost my train of thought a few times. Life is difficult, and I will get more and more used to live streaming and take more thorough notes for myself for the future. But I can't really promise that either. So that's just kind of a hope and wish. And now, shall I look for... Oh, I found it, you guys. Look. It's my comments and reactions screen. I'm going to bring it down here so I'm not looking up at everything because my other monitors are up there. All right. So here are comments and questions. There are not many questions for me. So for this being a focus on a live Q&A, this is great. I mean, because I love to be quick and concise and rambly and mumbly and barking. I love barking while I'm doing these. So great. I'll just have to, what I'll have to do next time is, not just start a spontaneous live stream at 7:25 p.m. on Monday, but stick to 7 p.m. every week from now until the show in June, and maybe even advertise it. Let people know what the topic's going to be. So if they have questions about that specific topic, they might be able to come to the live stream with questions. So that when it comes to the question and answer part, if I haven't covered anything, yes, make announcements. Mel Brown, thank you, sir. Yeah, I did last week for our first one, but this week was a really busy week with basement construction. And then we went to Fort Wayne to promote our show there at a baby fair and family expo. Exciting weekend, exciting week, all sorts of stuff happening here. Dogs barking all over the place. And we will have a specific live stream about this as well. But you can join us on Discord. The link is in the description of this video. We have we've started a Discord Brickworld community channel. It is meant for AFOLs who have met each other at the show or who would like to come to the show, get on and meet other people, perhaps to build and chat, but mostly to socialize. We don't intend this to be a place for you to come and ask us questions. Anytime that you have a question about the show, you can hit us up at contactus@brickworld.com. This link that you see below my face here is good for 1 week. So for the next 7 days, you can use this link to join us on the Brickworld Community Forum. We'd be really excited if you did. We want to build this up for the future so that anyone who comes to the show has one place where they can come to talk to people that they met at the show, and then perhaps collaborate. We've only got the one channel in Brickworld Community so far, but we're willing to add more based on your feedback, suggestions, and needs. This is all about building the community, and so as we get to know the Brickworld community on Discord, we will try to evolve and adapt to the needs of the Brickworld community that joins us there on Discord. So that is pretty much all I have, and that's definitely all I have for tonight if there are no further questions. But if you guys want to see some beautiful pictures from last year's show, I'll see if I can share my screen correctly this time. We'll do a little slideshow. So it has music. Let's see. Is this going to give me... Yes. Look at this, you guys. I feel so professional. Let's try this too. If you guys have any questions while this is playing, please feel free to put them in the comments. And I'll answer them as they come in. But in the meantime, just look at beautiful creations from people from all over the world, from Brickworld Chicago 2023. As soon as the slideshow is over, I will end the live stream. I will do my best to be silent. And you know what? I'm going to turn off my microphone because I'm smart and I'm a good live streamer. I'm a famous YouTuber. But also, so you don't hear any barking during the slideshow. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting Brickworld. We will see you next week at 7 p.m., hopefully right on the dot. And I will be posting announcements on all of our social media channels. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for being here.